So you're in the middle of a kitchen update, and you can't tell if that's a faucet stem or a flange. With the Home Depot app, doing doesn't miss a beat. It'll find what you need in a snap, and it'll show you how to find it in store with a tap. Or get it delivered free. For doing that doesn't stop. Download the Home Depot app. It's made for doing.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The tradition continues.
That ball's going to be out of here.
America's team plays here.
Bombs away.
The Atlanta Braves are back and making a statement.
Ronald Acuna just clobbered one to left.
Listen to Atlanta Braves baseball in a rich audio experience live on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Here comes the thunder.
Sponsored by Goldberg Kia, Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, Mid-South Lumber, Stormore Portable Buildings, and Brock Pest Control.
Mid-South Lumber, where they treat you like family. Locally owned and serving the residents of Bay County for over 45 years. Visit their feed store at the Youngstown location for all of your livestock feed, plumbing, electrical, lawn, and garden needs. They also carry local Chautauqua wines, baby chicks, and a full line of poultry supplies to get your chicks started off right. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City.
Great design is timeless, and that's why Tracy's Fine Jewelry inside Coin and Bullion Reserves offers a stunning selection of vintage, antique, estate jewelry on sale now at 40% off. Exquisite Victorian rings, Art Deco diamond brooches, Georgian and Art Deco bracelets, earrings, and pendants. These one-of-a-kind pieces add personality to any ensemble, and now at 40% off. Find your timeless treasure at Tracy's Fine Jewelry inside Coin and Bullion Reserves.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
Chuck was terrible at fishing. He spent many frustrating hours attempting to get results he saw from internet videos, aggravating trial and error fishing trips, and misguided advice from well-intended friends. Chuck is happy now with his newfound success after he visited Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, where we keep fishing fun, simple, and successful. See us soon at Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, located directly off Highway 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach.
ESPN Northwest Florida is an active member of the Panama City Beach Chamber. We want to introduce the newest members to the Beach Chamber: Dynamic Photography Incorporated, Hightower Industries LLC, Kitchen Designs, KTV Builders, Mr. Hibachi at Home, Neon's Beach Shack, and PCB Cigars. Congratulations from the only local sports talk station, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Home to the NFL. WGSX Lynn Haven. WVLQ Port St. Joe. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Lights, camera, action.
It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Do you know who I am?
Live and local inside the J. Michael Studio.
People know me.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Beautiful Tuesday in paradise. Jim Brandt every Tuesday. I'm looking for Pat. I think Pat's going to come in today, I hope, from Lynn Haven. Beef Old Brady's. Jim, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right.
You're looking good. Have a good weekend?
Yeah, not bad.
All right. Starting fires out in Hawaii?
No. Did talk to my sister in California, but no.
Does she have any family out there in Hawaii? I couldn't remember.
I'm sorry?
Was any of her kinfolk out there in Hawaii? I couldn't remember.
No, she has friends because her husband went to University of Hawaii, so they had friends out there, but they haven't really been able to talk to them because they think maybe the internet's down or whatever, too.
Right, right.
The fact they haven't heard from doesn't necessarily mean anything bad.
Water's turned off. Alarm system's turned off. People want that land. Interesting. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about high school football, college football, right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We have North Bay Havens head football. Matt, we got Matt on the phone. Matt, how you doing this morning?
Hey, I'm good. How are you, Coach?
I couldn't be better, man. Matt, tell everybody what your last name is, because I don't want to screw it up.
It's Canal.
Canal?
Canal.
Canal. Jim, can you remember that? Canal. We'll get it. I'll get it by the end of the season. I probably should know it pretty good by then. How did it go last week with your jamboree? I heard you guys played pretty well against Port St. Joe.
Well, we played hard. I don't know if we made a lot of mistakes, and that's what jamborees are for, is to iron out those mistakes and get good film before you lace it up for real. But the things you can't coach, the effort, it was there all night. They didn't back down, even though, in the past, I think last year it was 35-0 at the end of the first quarter in that kickoff classic, and our kids didn't come out scared. And I loved it. So.
Well, I've been talking about, yesterday I talked to Coach Arnold's football coach, Coach Campbell, and we were like, I don't even remember any of that. I was head coach for 30 years in Florida. I don't remember any spring game, fall classic, fall jamboree, because they didn't count. They didn't matter. So you look and learn from what you did wrong. You try to make corrections and then go forward. And I think you guys will do that. I was surprised at some of the scores that I saw that in the Panhandle, but it doesn't matter. The real deal starts this Friday. And before we get into this real deal this Friday, I want you to tell everybody out there who are your coaches and how they doing for you.
Oh, my coaches are doing fantastic. They our defense coordinator is Mike McLaughlin. We have Kevin Jacobs coaches our linebackers, kind of our run game defense coordinator. We got Coach Scott Oden on linebackers. We got Coach Bobby Hughes coaching our DB. On the offensive side, Coach Gordy Palmgrat is my O-line coach. Coach Jeremy Barr is my receiver coach on varsity. We're meshing pretty well together. I really feel that they're picking up the system and really driving the kids to work hard and not back down. And that's what we're looking to change here.
All right, that sounds pretty good to have a good coaching staff like that. And in the past, I think that's been a problem, having enough coaches over there at North Bay Haven. That's a big deal right there. As far as administration, it seems like they're doing everything you need to have a chance to be successful, correct?
Absolutely. No, our administrative team here at North Bay Haven is fantastic. And, they've built the academic brand for the last 2 decades, I guess. And, we're looking to build the athletic brand now.
Matt, tell everyone about where you play your home games, because I know that's been an issue in the past, and what is going on at North Bay Haven as far as where you play your home games?
So, we're going to play at Arnold, except for, we have a lot of home games this year. It's just kind of the way the schedule happens. So we got Gavlac. So we're going to play at Gavlac this week. And then, then we travel to Holmes County for an away game. And then we play actually at North Bay Haven September 8th and September 15th. Because, the lights got installed this summer. And, we're going to rent some deluxe porta potty trailer, and we're going to rent some bleachers, some extra seating, and we're going to play our games there the 8th and the 15th of September. Then we're on the road at Cottondale, and then our, crosstown rivals, Bay and Rudd, we're going to play at Tommy Oliver, and then we'll be at Gavlin for the rest of our home games after that.
Now, who do you open up with? Is this a Friday night game at Arnold or a Thursday night game?
It's a Friday night game at Arnold. It is Franklin County.
All right, give us a little rundown on Franklin County. What kind of team do they have?
They got a lot of depth from what we can see on film. They got some good-looking receivers on the outside, big, tall receivers on the outside. They like to mix it up offensively between wing T and a little bit of spread. And they're going to bounce between zero man and man free and try and bring pressure and stay on our receivers. So we got to kind of have the same plan we had this past week, which is, if we want to be successful offensively, we got to get them out of what they like to do comfortable. And, we watched film with Port St. Joe, or on the Port St. Joe game and the Weewaw game from this past Friday, and, we just were one block or one step away from, beating them on quick game screens, outside reads. That could have got them out of it, and, that's why we play Jamboree, so we can see that and fix it and prepare to move forward.
How do y'all match up with those guys physically? Who are they a little bit bigger, or you guys match up pretty well across the front, or what?
From this past Friday or against Franklin?
Franklin, this game coming up. Okay,
this game coming up. Yeah, I'd have to go on max prep to see, but they don't look small. We're pretty big up front. We probably average somewhere in the 260 to 280 range across the front. They're probably somewhere around there, maybe a little bit smaller, but physically they're going to play hard. I think Coach over there is doing a good job and really trying to build that program.
Now, Gordy's kids, I can't believe they're that old now. What grade is his two boys in? They're pretty good athletes.
Yeah, they're juniors. Both of them start on our offensive line.
That's correct. I can't believe they're that old. Unbelievable.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, has Gordy doing a pretty good job for you? That should be at least a touchdown favorite for you every game, having him on the sidelines.
If not two. So he's doing great. He's all in. He's bought into what we're trying to do. He really wants to build up North Bay Haven and our football program. His wife's on the Booster Club board. And, we're all in for the Buccaneers this year.
Now, as far as, have you talked to Larry? Is it going to be the same deal with the Bay District schools where you guys have to have a lottery to get in? Is there any talk of that maybe one day going away where it's a little bit easier for you guys to compete, where all the other schools in the county, the guys can leave and go next door and play, but not at North Bay Haven? They're going to have to, they just can't transfer in.
No, they cannot. And I think, you have your advantages and disadvantages in that as well. It makes our coaching staff really focus on building the kids we got. We're not always looking for someone else to come in, so it really kind of makes us hone in on our skills of developing players, and that's what we're looking to do. When I took the job at Father Lopez, we were considered mainly JV. And I remember my first parent meeting, they asked, are we ever going to stop playing these hard teams? And I said, well, eventually I'd like to be able to beat them. And the whole room laughed. But, you fast forward 3 years from that meeting, and we were, 9-3 and won a playoff game.
Right.
So, it just, there has to be a vision, and you can't stray from that vision.
Now, did you guys come out of the Jamboree pretty healthy?
Oh, yeah, we came out very healthy. Now, that was in a Jamboree, that's my biggest concern. We want to get good reps. We want to compete. We want to learn from it. But, number one, we want to be healthy. We had, Quante Spencer had a little, I call it like a Charlie horse on his calf muscle, the front right next to the tibia, which kind of makes it impossible to play. It kind of just makes your muscle go dead. But he's 100%. He practiced yesterday, and one of our starting offensive linemen, Elijah Horton, he got cleated in the same place twice. It was pretty bad, but he was healthy on yesterday's practice. So we're going into Franklin County 100%.
Well, Coach, good luck to you. We'll call you next Tuesday morning. We'll talk about how the game played out. Good luck, and go get yourself a win, okay?
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, Coach Hale.
All right, buddy. Y'all take care. Tell Gordy I said hey. All right.
I will do.
North Bay Haven back on board. Now, at 7:15, we got Rutherford's new football coach, Coach Floyd. Looking forward to seeing what he's going to build over at Rutherford High School. Jim, high school football back. I tell you what, I don't know if I could do it anymore, go through that heat like those guys do. I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, especially this summer.
Yeah, I just become soft. You know what?
Yeah, make everything dome stadiums with air conditioned and get back to me.
Yeah, right. All right, I got to ask you a question. What's up with Harbaugh, man? Michigan Eddie and the Michigan Wolverines. I mean, did they just make up their own rules? They already told them, we're not going to do this. We're not going to accept this. What does Michigan do? They come out and they go, we're going to suspend him 3 games, the first 3 games, Jinx, Surfside, Floyd Junior High School out of Montgomery. What's the deal, man? They just do what they want?
Yeah, I don't know what's the real truth there. Like I said, before the show, what's the real truth? Is it about hamburgers? Is it about something else? NCAA says we're going to give you 4, and they say, well, no, we're not. We're going to back off that. And then Michigan comes in and says, well, we're going to give you 3. What is this? Let's make a deal.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Whatever's going on, we haven't heard the truth. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know with Michigan Eddie.
I don't know what's going on.
And his Wolverines are incredible. I mean, I blame the Big Ten of the downfall of the SEC. I grew up watching the Pac-12, enjoying watching those games out there.
Yeah, sure.
The Rose Bowl. The Big Ten goes and just destroys, kills, mutilates a conference. They're dead. They're gone because of the Big Ten. Transfer. They let a guy from Georgia that couldn't play there come into Ohio State and play that year. And then what happened? Everything changed with the NCAA. It's the evil of the world is the Big Ten. We got a caller. Good morning.
Go Blue, Truck City, Arizona. We're going to play back 10-0. Hey, you want to know something? All this crap going on in the NCAA, I'll start with the SEC because it just means more. And here's another thing, Coach Hale, before you start calling the Big Ten the evilness of college sports. So why is it fair that the NCAA can come out and make a statement yesterday and say it's not about cheeseburgers, blah, blah, blah. But Harbaugh and his legal team are basically muzzled and can't present their side of the story. This is what's wrong with America today. You're guilty until proven innocent, where our founding fathers used to say, you're innocent until proven guilty. Because of the keyboard warriors, social media, and all that crap, Harbaugh can't come out and defend himself and tell his side of the story, but NCAA can. That's the problem with America today.
Listen
what?
You guys are making up your own rules. You going against the society. You said, hey, we're going to suspend you 3 games. Take it or leave it. Y'all are bullies.
We stand up for what's right, man. We don't take it. We're not wimps. We're not Vanderbilt. You know what I'm saying?
He was almost speechless there. Almost.
Yeah, he didn't know what to say. Almost. I had him. I had you at hello.
You didn't have me. I just woke up. I'm not a morning person. I'm getting ready for work.
Hey, I just can't believe Michigan did that. I mean, the NCAA told them, no, we're not going to accept this. So what does the Michigan do? Okay, we won't suspend him 4 games. We're going to do 3. We're going to do it this year. Take that, NCAA. Oh, my God.
They're basically...
What's next? Y'all going to march and burn cities down? Oh, you already did that in that state.
No, hey, no.
We got to take a break.
Hold on.
We got to take a break.
Team Sparty. All right, I'm out. See ya. That's Sparty, by the way. East Lansing burns couches.
Hey, you think we got his blood pressure going first thing this morning?
Yeah, a little bit.
Good job there.
A little bit.
Love you, Michigan. You know I'm just messing with you. All right, let's talk about some of our great people. J. Michael's Restaurant on Thomas Drive, one day away from that world-famous J. Michael's Spaghetti. Had a great lunch down there yesterday. And I will today, too, matter of fact. South Oak Title and Closing for all your real estate needs. Chuck Tucker and that crew do an incredible job. They got offices throughout Northwest Florida. And Steverson Air Conditioning. Oh, my God. It's about time to get our service, by the way. I got to call them, get them out there. Jason does an incredible job. Steverson Air Conditioning, #1. Not even close. If you're burning up right now with this heat and humidity, call Steverson Air Conditioning. They'll come cool your place down. I guarantee you that. El Rodeo, Tequila Bar and Grill, the home of Glenn Manley and Jim Brandt, especially on Thursdays when they dress up like Elvis and dance and sing and have a good time. Buy one, get one free. I think y'all do that too much. El Rodeo, Tequila Bar and Grill. We'll be right back. When we get back, Coach Floyd, Rutherford High School. If we can get him on the phone, we're going to talk about Rutherford High School football. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Hey, follow the rules, Big Ten.
Northwest Florida. We're taking the inside track.
Nashville should be the capital of Tennessee, not Memphis.
You heard it here first?
Memphis, man, I got some stories about Memphis. I used to be, we used to play the Redbirds right there, and, close enough where you had to walk. After the games, I'm like,
he said,
oh, man.
Join Ryan Mulvey.
Thank you very little.
Middays 11 to 1 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Tuesday. Mostly sunny this afternoon and evening with a wind coming out of the southwest at 9 miles per hour and the high of 94. Tonight, look for mostly clear skies with a temperature near 83. Tomorrow, high around 96 and mostly sunny most of the day aside from a chance of thunderstorms in the evening. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Turf Pro Lawn and Pest Control. They take pride in caring for their customers' property by providing lawn and whole house pest control. Whether you have roaches or any other unwanted bugs in your home, Turf Pro has you covered. Or if your lawn needs weed control, fertilize, insect control, Turf Pro has you covered by providing custom treatments to meet your property's needs. No property is the same, so why should it be treated that way? Turf Pro, where the blue and yellow trucks make your lawn green. Call 850-890-5820.
Y'all listen up. Let me tell you something about group meals from Rudy's Barbecue. It's got all you need for all the folks you gotta feed, smoked meat, sides, and more. There's everything down to the tablecloth, just like the one that you see at the store. At a bridal shower, it's better than flowers. And a long distance meeting, it'll pass the hours. It'll feed all the cousins at a family function. It's better than potluck at a church luncheon. Next time you need to feed 10 or more, call and order a Rudy's group meal.
Next in line.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michaels Studio.
Boss, I got good news and bad news. What's the bad news? Your hat's on fire.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
I turned that sucker up. Woo! Julie says that song's about her. She wrote that back in the 70s. Yeah, she was a brick house. What? Missionary, calm down. What? We'll get you back on later. She is. Yeah, she is. Thank you there. Thank you there, Kentucky Wildcat.
You need to be checked on that.
I know it. I apologize for that. Hey, it's high school football day today. I can't wait, man. This Friday, the real deal starts. Last week was the warm-ups. Didn't count. Who cares? If you got beat, doesn't matter. If you won, calm down. It didn't count. Let's get ready for football this Friday night. And we got a new football coach at Rutherford, Coach Floyd. Coach, how you doing this morning?
We're doing well this morning. How we doing, Coach?
I couldn't be better. Thank you so much for coming on. Coach, give us a rundown of your career. Tell us where you played ball at, where you've coached at. Give us a little breakdown of your background.
Well, I come from Apalachicola. I graduated in 2004 from Apalachicola High School. Took a little football scholarship to play football at the Division II school in Urbana University in Ohio. Lettered there for 4 years. Played my 5th year at Chowan University, where I graduated with a degree in social science. Came to Panama City, worked at the Juvenile Detention Center, did a little volunteer coaching at Bay High. Did 3 years at Bay High, became a history teacher, did 3 more years as a D-line coach at Arnold. Being in D.C. with my last year over there, and then coming back to Bay High, coaching on the Sean Killis. And I did 3 more years, plus about 4 at the D.C. I didn't get that job over there, and I ended up going over to Mosley High School coaching the D-line, and then being one of the administrative assistants, dean of discipline over at New Horizons, and then I got the Rutherford job.
Wow. So you've been through it a while now. You know what you're doing. What's it like taking over a program that's been down so long? What was the draw to Rutherford? Why take that risk?
I'm a community guy. I feel like I've been here a long enough time. I kind of grew up here as a man, and I kind of want the way my family dynamic is. I wanted to be around here, and I feel I like to coach where you feel like you most needed. I'm not necessarily saying we don't want to be on a winning team, but it's easy to go to a winning team and they already have the culture established and you're winning ball games. but it's a challenge whenever you go somewhere that you need it, and you got to change the culture. You got to teach these guys football and the right way to carry themselves and trying to build a program, and that's a challenge. I think it helps you coach harder, and it keeps your mind locked in when it comes down to the game of football also.
Have the kids bought into what you're trying to preach, what you're trying to get across to them? Is it a good build? Have they bought into it?
Yes, sir. They're bought in, and the culture is changing. But as you know, I've been there only about seven and a half months. So just because the culture is changing doesn't mean that it's changed. So you got to constantly stay on top of it. So eventually, as the years to come, it becomes a way of life, the way that we do it as far as strength conditioning, academics, the way we carry ourselves in the community and social media. So I believe that they're bought in. They're continuing to buy in and trying, like we say, brick by brick, trying to create that solid foundation. And I think that foundation is laid, and now it's on us to create that brick by brick and build that program back up so it can be just a way of life how it was in the past.
I always said the first year, I don't care when you take over a job, the first year's the toughest. They got to get to know you, how you run things. You got to get to know them, the administration, everything. It's just tough for the first year, and then it gets better. What about your coaching staff? Who have you been able to bring in? What's the changes there? Who are the new coaches, and who you got on your staff?
Oh, man, we retained Coach Alvin Bishop and Coach Jabbar Manning. Alvin Bishop is the receivers coach. Jabbar Manning is the OC. We were able to get Chris Moore. He came over from a crosstown school. He's a head JV coach and helps with quarterbacks on JV and varsity. Kingston Hale, he was with me at the Bay High staff. I coached a young man. He grew up around this community. He graduated from Bay High School. He's my linebackers coach. And then Trevor Kilcrease, I coached the guy over at Arnold. He was a DB and a receiver. He grew up as a nice young man, kind of developed a relationship outside of football, outside of the school system. And once he graduated from Nicholls State, he came back. Actually, he wanted to coach with me, and he's been with me ever since. And now he's my DB coach. And then we got Tim Hendricks, he's a community guy. Taurus Ross. LeBarian Black, which is a running back coach. He's a Rutherford alum. Several guys out here. Tavarius Williams, another Rutherford alumni, and Mark Tibbs. He's one of the bigger ones on the D-line, and he graduated from Rutherford and Jacksonville State. So we got a good group of men, a good mix. I'm probably about in the middle when it comes down to age.
Yeah.
And I like it that way. You got some older guys that can talk to me when the time needs to be talked with, and some young guys that can kind of, I can kind of mentor them, and then we blend that thing in together, and then we all lean on each other. And these guys are good men and leaders in their own, and they're following my lead also and bought into what we're doing together.
Coach, what are the numbers like? How many guys you got out in the entire program?
We got about 30 in middle school. We got about 25 on the JV. And then about 38 on the varsity. So
that's good.
Just putting that together, and it's it's getting there. It's coming along. So.
All right. How did Jamboree go for you? How'd you guys play? How'd you do?
We did okay. We had a few mistakes that we got to get corrected, but it was expected as far as execution goes, and as far as conditioning went. We got a little tired after the first half. I think a little bit early in the third quarter. We went 14-0 against Liberty County. One touchdown on defense. Offense scored on like the first or the second play. And then coming out of the half to play Graceville received the ball. They had a long drive, punched it in on us. And I didn't necessarily want them to score on us, but it was another first. It was another first. It's King scoring first on us. How are we going to face adversity when we're losing and when we've been losing for a while? How are we going to respond? So, a couple guys' head kind of dropped. Coaches encouraged them, not necessarily got in them, but, hey, man, keep your head up. This is what we work for. This is what we're talking about. Your head down, there's nothing down there but excuses. So the guys kind of puckered up and, didn't give up much after that. And the final score ended up being 12-6.
All right, Coach. Tell us who you got this week, where you playing at, and who's your opponent.
We got a crosstown rival in Mosley Dolphins on Thursday, August the 24th at Tommy Oliver. We're being an away team, Mosley being a home team. as far as that, anything else on Mosley, you need to ask a question about.
Yeah, that's a huge school. You guys, that's probably twice as big a school than you guys as far as enrollment. That'll be a tough one, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, sir. Those guys, I mean, when they say young over there, they're probably young by experience, but they're actually a veteran group that's been with each other since freshman year, and that large group of juniors are pretty good football players, man. Because, you know, a lot of times we like to say in the rival games, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but I was over there in that locker room last year, so I do know those young men that they still do have who actually can play football. And, again, as far as experience, they may be young, but as far as grade and being together, they've been together since freshman, and that's a good group of juniors over there, and that's a good thing to have. Right. And as far as the coaches go, I mean, they're going to be well coached. Tommy Joe has done it at this level very quickly when he has been a head coach. I don't think he has any losing seasons as a head coach. And then as far as what coaching tree I come from underneath, and as far as my defense goes, I get most of it from Sean Killers, and that guy's over there. And as far as, again, they're going to be well coached.
Yeah.
We got about 3 or 4 guys that's been head coaches over there on that staff, and that means a lot, especially when working with a young team.
Well, Coach, I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to come on the show. We're going to call you next week, every Tuesday, 7:15, keeping up with Rutherford Rams. Big game versus Mosley. And, Coach, good luck to you. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, Coach Floyd. I'll tell you what, looking forward to see what he can do over there. Good guy. He's got a good background, Jim. I think he'll do a good job.
Yeah, that's a tough job.
I'll tell you what, now, I wouldn't want to open up with Mosley High School.
No.
Coach Witten's got it going. He's one of the outstanding coaches in the state. They got a nice program. You know, last year was Bay. Bay kind of took over Bay County. Does Mosley wants it back? Can Bay hold on to it, or somebody new? I'll tell you what, Bozeman's going to be pretty good this year.
Yeah.
I can't wait. All right, tomorrow we got Coach Brown. Bay High School, they open up with Arnold. We got all these big games the first week of the season. That's crazy. All right, let's talk about some of our great people. Dr. Chad Mitchell, talking about high school football. Here's a legendary doctor, been taking care of athletes for 24 years. Unbelievable. He was on yesterday. He'll be on here every Monday. Dr. Chad Mitchell. Any type of injury, make sure you go see Chad Mitchell. Call, make an appointment. He'll take care of you. He's a great guy. That Cajun place, cannot wait this week. Kind of a warm-up. Week 0. I'm going to go watch probably Notre Dame play Navy. I think it's 1:30 our time. But what's so great about this now, we mentioned it yesterday, at Beef O'Brady's, they're going to open up at 10 o'clock. They're going to have a brunch. They always do it on Sundays. Now they're doing it on Saturdays. We don't have to wait outside until 11 till they open the doors. We can get in there and watch Lee put the hat on. Who are you pulling for? Wear your school colors, 50-cent wings, $5 pitchers. Everybody needs to be at that Cajun place at 10 o'clock this coming Saturday, watching game day, getting ready for college football. Kind of a warm-up, and then the next week, the real deal starts. Can't wait. Get out there and tell me that Coach sent you. Rudy's Barbecue on Bat Beach Road. You want the best barbecue you can get anywhere? From the great state of Texas, Rudy's Barbecue. They've got the best turkey you'll get anywhere. Jim, you love that place. You've been there many a time. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Rudy's Barbecue on Bat Beach Road. Make sure you check out the Lord on Late Room in the back. Great place to have you can have a pregame meal there. You can have a postgame meal there. You can do anything at Rudy's Barbecue. All right, we'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN. We get back, Jim Brandt, FSU. What's going on with the Seminoles? Be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents The Race to Daytona. It's your chance to win tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 Saturday, August 26th from historic Daytona International Speedway. Listen to Coach Hale mornings at 8:45 for the keyword of the day. When you hear it, text the keyword and your name to 850-215-6290. Then listen in the afternoon at 4:40 if we announce your name, race to the phones. How long it takes you to call back is your qualifying time. The fastest qualifying time was a pair of tickets to Daytona from ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hello, this is Rick Lawson with RV of Panama City, your local Stormore portable building dealer, located at 2241 East Baldwin Road. Shopping for a garage, portable building, cabin? We build them anywhere from 8 to 16 foot wide, 10 feet to 60 feet long. We can do insulation, electricity, transom dormers, thermal windows. Come, let's customize a building together. Rick Vossen, Stormore Portable Building Dealer, Panama City.
Hi folks, it's Tracy with Tracy's Fine Jewelry and Coin and Bullion Reserves. Did you know that we do more than just sell some of the finest jewelry in town? We can engrave on your wedding band, locket, Yeti cup, or almost anything. Need your watch battery changed? We can do that too. Our expert will even evaluate your coin collection. And of course, we always pay top dollar for your old gold and silver jewelry. See, there's a lot more to Tracy's Fine Jewelry than a lot of pretty sparkly things. Come and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. 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 Reese's.
On the run. Time to let the big dogs eat.
How about that answer by Georgia? To the end zone. Touchdown, Georgia.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Florida State, Florida State, Florida State. Woo! I can't do anything good.
Yeah.
I just messed it up, though. It's not your fault. It's mine. All right, FSU is brought to you by Newbies. Get out, Newbies, have a great time. I tell you what, Charlotte will be at the games this year. I guarantee you her. I appreciate Charlotte and John sponsoring the Florida State Update. Get out, Newbies, have a great time. 3 great locations, but the 2 I love the most. On the curves to watch all sporting events, and then the mothership. She demands the best, and she gets what she wants. Charlotte's going to have the best bands in the Southeast every weekend. Get out to Newbies, too, and have a great time. And the mothership on Thomas Drive. All right, Jim, what do you got for us today on FSU?
Well, FSU's had a very busy talking season. They had discussions about everything. Recruits in, recruits out, ADs leaving, realignment. Do you want to keep this team in? Do you want to keep that team out? Are we going to raise enough money so we can get out and go to the SEC? All this stuff has been going on. Well, it's coming down to the point where we're going to have to actually play a game here in about 10 days, I think it is, something like that. And yesterday, ESPN posted the percentage of the chances for Florida State against their schedule this year. And they're playing 12 games, and they have less than a 50% chance in 3 of the games. It really surprised me. Not 2 of them, but the 3rd one for sure. So we're going to start with the obvious one. According to ESPN, LSU and Florida State, on September, was it 3rd, I think, Sunday?
Yes, Sunday.
Florida State has a 34% chance to win that game. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, they won last year, right?
Yeah.
34% chance of winning? LSU's got that much better in the offseason that they only have, the Florida State's only got a 34% chance of winning. That really surprised me.
Right.
It's like, man, that's pretty low.
I was surprised at that too when I saw that. I thought it'd be like 51 or something.
Yeah, I think it's a toss-up myself. But
I do too.
But anyway, and then I don't want to go through the whole thing. I'm just going to hit some of the other highlights. And then week 2 against the Southern Eagles.
Golden Eagles, watch out, baby.
The Screaming Eagles, they got a 93% chance to beat the Screaming Eagles.
So you're saying we got a chance?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to say no. All right. And then they got Boston College. Obviously, they'll take care of Boston College. And then they got Clemson. At Clemson. This one, to me, makes more sense than the LSU one. According to this, they have a 31% chance of winning at Clemson, which is not surprising because their record there in the last, 15 times is 2-13 or something like that. So it's not really surprising that it's that low. But to me, that, and I've said this on air all for the last 6-7 months, that's what the season's going to come down to.
Right.
LSU, FSU is a big game, and it's going to have a big audience. But really, it's game 1. It doesn't really determine their fate like going to Clemson.
Right.
All right.
And they're going to play twice, I think.
I think so, too. So they got a 31% chance at Clemson. Then the rest of them, they got Virginia Tech's 89% chance of winning and so on. And then you get down to the last game of the season against the Gators It's at Florida. Maybe that's why they figure this percent. 49.9%. Why don't you just say it's
49% to win?
No, to lose.
To lose.
To win, yeah. 49.9.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, okay.
50-50.
Florida's, wow.
That really surprised me, too.
Yeah.
It's like, what do they know that we don't know? I mean, I don't know. And I watched, not intentionally, but just the way it turned out, there was a replay of Florida and Florida State yesterday, and I watched it. And that was an outstanding game. I mean, very exciting, very back and forth. But the reason that Florida stayed in that game is because they had number 15, who's now playing for the Indianapolis Colts, rather. I don't see Graham Mertz at Florida doing the kind of things that Richardson did to keep Florida in the game. I think Florida State will take care of them big time. That's just me.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
That's not the. I'm going to say this for tomorrow when we have Ward on and all of our Gator stuff on Wednesday, but that's not the only one that has Florida winning that game. I was surprised. There's a couple other people that believe the same thing.
What do they know?
I know. I'm like, oh, no. Florida's. I think Florida's going to be better than what people think, but FSU's pretty doggone good now.
Yeah, they are. And, you know, they had the AP preseason All-American team came out.
They had the most, right?
And Jared Verse was first team defensive end, edge rusher, what they call him now, you know, for Florida State. They expect him to have this sensational year, you know, so it's just kind of crazy to me. How can a guy get absolutely no love out of high school, go to Albany in upstate New York, played, you know, FCS, well, like 215 pounds or something like that, and 2 years later he's at Florida State weighing 260 and going to be an AP All-American. It's like, how can they miss that bad on his ability? I don't know. It's crazy. So you never, like we always say, recruiting is an inexact science, and to me, he's one of the best examples because he's gone from like a nobody to he's a top 10 pick. It's like, okay.
A lot of developing going on in Tallahassee.
Yeah, something. It's like
I want to ask you something, Jim. We're looking at Florida State's schedule, and I'll even say LSU, and then let's look at Michigan and Georgia. Okay. If FSU loses 2 games and they don't get in, let's just say they lose to LSU week 1, and a close game, and they get beat on the road, Clemson, but they went out, beat Clemson in the championship game, and they sit there and they don't let them in. And then you got Michigan, it plays 2 games the whole year. They got 2 games on their whole schedule, I think, and that's Penn State and Ohio State. I don't know. I just in their mind, they're not going to let a 2-team get in. And I can say the same thing for LSU. If LSU loses to Florida State and maybe screws up somewhere else, but then runs the table and wins the SEC, do they get in? Do you see any way a 2-team will lose two losses get in? They didn't let Alabama in last year, even though they didn't win the championship.
They didn't win the SEC. Yeah. Here's my take. It's going to sound like an anti-SEC thing, but I think it's the truth. I just think this is the way. Instead of if a 2-loss SEC champ, or I'm not saying this right. Let me reverse.
Go back. Yeah.
If an SEC championship team has 2 losses, they'll get in. If it's LSU or Alabama, Georgia, let's just say one of those 3 teams has 2 losses, but they're SEC champs, they will get in.
Yeah. See, I disagree. If it's Georgia,
Georgia ain't going to lose twice. They may not win the national championship 3 years in a row, but they're not going to lose twice, in my opinion.
Because I was going to say they'd have to lose to Ole Miss and Tennessee at the end of the year, and then still win the championship. I don't know. Now, Florida State. Let's look at Florida State. If they lose to Clemson early and beat them at the end, and they're the champions of the ACC with 2 losses, a close loss to Clemson, and then a close loss to LSU, and LSU says wins the SEC, I think FSU's got a chance to get in with 2 losses. If they lose late to Clemson, no way.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot like you got to bring Ohio State into the example. Like when Ohio State beat Wisconsin 59-0 in the Big Ten championship. It depends how you win too.
Right.
If it's a real close win, I don't know. But if they blow them out like a 59-0, which I don't think would happen, but let's just say it does, maybe. But we're coming down to the end of, this 4-team playoff. It's going to be really hard to have a 2-loss team in there.
Right.
I know we're making examples of where it might happen, but it's going to be tough because the powers that be, they want USC. They want somebody besides the 4 normal people. They just do. That's why do you think this is a realignment? So we can get the big the West Coast market and get them in the playoffs. How come USC's never made the playoffs? How come Oklahoma's I don't know if Oklahoma's good enough this year, but that's what they want. They want other
different
people.
Parts of the country, more TV sets.
They want other people.
And people have to keep watching the same thing. They get bored and tired of it.
Yeah.
That's the reason they hate Alabama, hate Ohio State, hate Georgia.
That's the truth.
And they hated Clemson. I mean, honestly,
you're right.
Clemson's kind of Alabama and Clemson been down a little bit.
And we talked about this before the show, and I really believe, I'm not just saying this to be an SEC hater, but I think it's true. I think there's big-time fatigue with those same 4 characters every season. Look back like the last 9-10 years. It's been the same 4 teams every year.
Yeah.
The ones we just mentioned. So let's see if we can do something to get this stirred up a little bit, because we like that NCAA basketball thing where you get the total unknown San Diego State coming out of nowhere that nobody expects. And especially if they're on the West Coast and bring in that market, that's even better, because we got to have those TV sets turned on in Los Angeles.
Well, the LSU Florida State game, the entire country is going to be watching. It's going to be one of the most watched games like it was last year. Even more so this year because both of them are ranked in the top 7. If this was played in 2024, it wouldn't hurt either team one way because you have 12 teams in. This year, it's going to bite one of them in the butt.
Yeah.
The loser is going to hurt. They don't have another. They need to win out if they can. And we just talked about the only way FSU gets in with 2 losses, they lose to Clemson early, beat them at the end, and probably going to need some help throughout. But and if LSU's really ranked really high, then it wouldn't hurt them as bad either. So a lot of things play into that. But I can't wait till week 1 FSU. Now I will say this. If that game was played in Tallahassee, LSU game, week 2, you would have to keep an eye on Southern Mississippi going there pulling an upset. I don't think it'll happen this year because it's a neutral site game. Them kids will be excited playing in Doak the first time in the beginning of the year. So I think that hurts Southern Mississippi and helps FSU because we have a history of upsetting people. That's back when we had good players.
That's when Ray Guy was playing. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Brett Favre.
What did you just point at me? What was that? Was that a victory sign?
He's pointing with one finger. What's all that?
No,
about?
FSU's number 1.
I was just thinking, you're talking about all these games that are historically being watched, and the portals and the college money and stuff like that. That's going to change college football.
It's changed.
But
You already have.
You hate that, but then again, you hate the status quo.
It's weird.
It's weird.
I didn't. I like the way it was. I like watching Alabama, Ohio State play in Georgia, and South Carolina. Yeah. Oh, okay. I got it. All right. Let's talk about some of our great people. I do want to thank John and Charlotte for the FSU update, and I do think Seminole's going to be pretty good. That's way too early yet. But
it is.
Which way are you leaning right now, as of today, LSU or FSU?
I've picked LSU all along. I think LSU's going to win in a close one, but I think the Florida State's going to have a really good season, and they're going to probably end up winning the ACC. Yeah. Whether they get in, I have no idea.
Can't wait, baby. 2 weeks. No, a week from this Sunday, right? A week from this Sunday, FSU, LSU. I cannot wait. This is crazy. All right, let's talk about some of our other great people. Turf Pro Pest Control. Pat and his crew does an incredible job. You want that yard look like Pat Dyefield? It can happen. Turf Pro Pest Control. Speaking of Auburn, today at 8:15, the voice of the Auburn Tigers, Pat by Beef O'Brady's, I hope will be in here with us. I got to call him. I thought he was coming.
I thought he was here. I've been looking for him.
Yeah, but Andy Burcham will be on here, the voice of Auburn Tigers. Looking forward to that. I just looked down. The reason I mentioned that because I thought I heard something, but I didn't. As far as you know, I'm just actually making this stuff up. Speaking of Beef O'Brady's, get out there tomorrow, Wednesday, Beef O'Brady's, Lynn Haven. 10 wings, drink and a side for $9.99 from 11:33 at Beef O'Brady's. But you go down there any day and have a wonderful time because they have lunch specials every day. TVs everywhere, great atmosphere. Beef O'Brady's, Lynn Haven. Love Pat. We'll be right back. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents The Race to Daytona. It's your chance to win tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 Saturday, August 26th from historic Daytona International Speedway. Listen to Coach Hale mornings at 8:45 for the keyword of the day. When you hear it, text the keyword and your name to 850-215-6290. Then listen in the afternoon at 4:40 if we announce your name, race to the phones. How long it takes you to call back is your qualifying time. The fastest qualifying time was a pair of tickets to Daytona from ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Tuesday. Mostly sunny this afternoon and evening with a wind coming out of the southwest at 9 miles per hour and the high of 94. Tonight, look for mostly clear skies with a temperature near 83. Tomorrow, a high around 96 and mostly sunny most of the day aside from a chance of thunderstorms in the evening. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, this is Tim.
Do y'all sell bait?
Yes, we seasonally stock live shrimp, live bull minnows, live sand fleas, live fiddler crabs, earthworms, night crawlers, crickets. We also stock frozen shrimp, sand fleas, mullets, squid, pre-rigged ballyhoo, bonita, stingray, cigar minnows, Boston mackerel, Spanish mackerel, and a few other miscellaneous baits. It's worth the drive to buy premium locally sourced bait from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, located directly off Highway 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach.
If you spend any time at all in your yard, you're going to encounter fire ants.
We know they can ruin a party. That's why we're this area's experts at fire ant elimination.
As your certified top choice professional, we will rid your yard of these unwanted invaders. Brock Pest is so sure they'll get rid of fire ants that they offer a 1-year guarantee.
Enjoy your yard fire ant free. We guarantee it. Give us a call for your free consultation.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, our family protecting yours since 1968.
He doesn't always go the extra mile. But when he does, it's because he missed the exit. It's the Coach James Hale Show. Live and local inside the J. Michaels studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We're back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Beautiful Tuesday here. Enjoyed the show so far. We've had on North Bay Haven football coach, and I know a lot of their players were listening this morning. And also Coach Floyd, the new head football coach at Rutherford. See what he can build over there. Give him time. I think he'll do an outstanding job at Rutherford. And we had a great caller earlier this morning. Michigan Eddie called. And Jim, I want to ask you a question. What conference can get 3 teams? It's never happened. It's going to happen in 2024, but let's just say the last year, 4 teams in there. Is there any way we can get 3 teams from one conference? I do believe there's 1, possibly 2. I think it's harder for the one I was going to talk about first, the Big Ten. You've got Ohio State, Michigan, both got in last year. They both got in last year. Ohio State loses the last game of the year. They still get in, and really, they had a shot to win it all. Maybe probably the best team in college football besides Georgia, the best team out there. That was the national championship game was Ohio State, Georgia. The other league, I think, has a shot or opportunity, maybe the SEC. That would be things played out just right for LSU, Alabama, and Georgia. And the reason I say LSU and Alabama and Georgia because they all 3 don't play each other. The problem with the Big Ten, Penn State has to play.
Well,
Michigan and Ohio State.
This year, there's no, I don't know.
Well, this is last year's division.
Yeah, I was a history teacher. I'm not a math teacher, so there may be a mathematical way to make this happen. But in the Big Ten with division play, Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan are all in the Eastern Division. They all play each other.
So it'd be hard.
It would be almost impossible. Yeah, I don't know how it would
Let's ask a Michigan fan. Let's ask somebody that knows the Big Ten like no other. Let's ask a great American, one of my favorite people to walk this earth. Somebody asked me yesterday, you don't like Michigan State. I said, what? I said, you're nice to everybody but to him. I said, let me tell you something. I love that man. I think he's one of the great Americans. I think he's a great father. If we had more people like him in the world, it'd be better. Now, I'm going to give him a hard time, but I do love him. Who we got on the phone? Who is it? Oh, my God, not him. Good morning.
Coach, right there. Harrisburg, we're going to play back 10. Love you, Coach. I'm going to give you crap, too, Coach.
He's buttering.
That's what we do.
He's buttering you up, so he's gonna slice and dice you here in about 2 seconds.
Baby. You fell for it.
He ain't gonna do crap. He ain't the Karate Kid. You know what I mean? he ain't Mr. Miyagi.
Hey, I'm special. Hey, listen. Is there any way it could play out? SEC's down, ACC's down. We have everybody eating each other up. Is any way an undefeated Michigan, a 1-loss Ohio State, and a 2-loss Penn State that lost both games in overtime to Michigan and Ohio State? Is there any way in the world those 3 teams from the Big Ten could get in or anybody else, or three, maybe Wisconsin. Who's on the east side? Who's on the other side?
Wisconsin.
West
Where are
side,
they
Coach.
going?
It's West
Iowa.
side.
Yeah,
Iowa,
maybe
Wisconsin,
Iowa goes
Northwestern.
undefeated. Would beat maybe that. You know what? That could happen. Say Iowa goes 13-0. I know it won't happen. I'm just giving some love. Ohio State loses to them in the championship game by a point. Michigan had an unbelievable year. They only lost to Ohio State in overtime. Is that a way that all three of those could get in?
Here's my take on this, okay? This is more than just who does, as we all know, this is not really based on who deserves this.
Absolutely.
Who's the best? I mean,
Right.
it sounds kind of mean,
political.
but in my opinion, it's the truth.
Yeah.
You think the powers that be want three teams from the same conference? Hey, what's the reason we're realigning? To get everybody a chance. So, to get everybody
a ball.
Where's the San Diego State going to come in from the tournament? That nobody
Cincinnati.
the Cincinnati. We don't.
Or CCU.
Yeah, we don't want three from the same from any conference, let alone the Big Ten, because that will go against the SEC narrative and ESPN's narrative that it just means more.
Yeah.
There's no way that would ever happen. That's my opinion.
Okay, Michigan, any way that played out, Iowa has an unbelievable year. They actually score more than one touchdown a game. They go 13-0. They beat Ohio State in overtime to win the championship. Ohio State only has one loss. They'll get in with one loss. Just with their name alone. And Michigan only lost one game in overtime to Ohio State. Would all three of them get in if everybody else is eating each other up?
No. Because the power at B will not let that happen.
Okay.
Thank you.
And because NCAA is crooked as a winding mountain road in the Smoky Mountains. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the truth. The deserving don't necessarily get in. It's the agenda. They had to put TCU in there, and all that. So it is what it is until they fix it. So this is the last year for this format, right? The four teams that's going to, and then what's it going to be next year? How many teams is it going to be?
12 teams. I don't think they're going to get automatic bids like they wanted, because how can we give the Pac-12 automatic bid with four teams? Come on. We need to pick the best 12 teams, and let's go with that. If there's six from the SEC, six from the Big Ten, so be it.
So I was talking with Little Eddie brought up a good point when we were driving home from football practice last night. He goes, Dad, 12's too much. There's gonna be some teams that don't even deserve to make it. They're gonna get blown out. They should have 8, and that's it. Then you have a legit quality playoff bracket. And I agree with Little Eddie. Little Eddie knows more about football than I do, and I'll be the first to admit that.
I agree with that. Yes. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'll just bring up, and also here's a surprise that no one's talking about. Now I don't know if you talked about it on your show or not, Coach. Hey, Coach Jim Bob saw Jim Duggan. Hello, Smitty, Wildcat.
Johnny Carson, can you get back to the story?
Get to the point.
Yeah.
The point.
So here, the X factor in the ACC is going to be Clemson's offensive coordinator. If he gets it rolling, don't be surprised if Clemson makes the playoff with is it Garrett Riley? He used to be the OC at TCU. He's the X factor. And you know who cued me in on that? Is my buddy Brian. He's a Southern Miss alum like you, Coach. So there are some intelligent people that graduate from Southern Miss in Hattiesburg.
Yeah, Julie Hale.
No. He's Mississippi State. Mississippi State.
And
get it right.
Your
Get your
daughter
facts,
and your wife are the other two.
Hey, CNN, get your facts straight. He graduated from Mississippi State.
No, my buddy Brian at work. Get your facts straight.
Oh, I apologize. I'm sorry.
Finish the story.
I was thinking of my buddy. My bad. I do apologize. I should have shut up and just listened. I apologize.
So I gotta go shout out to my buddy Brian, who works at Tyndall with me, Southern Miss alum. He brought that. He goes, next time you go on, you might want to put this in there. And I go, you know what? I haven't heard very many people even talk about that. But you're absolutely right. So I gotta give credit where credit is due. I'm not fake news. I don't take credit that I don't deserve.
Let me make sure I heard you correct. So you made a comment that blows everybody's away. I mean, if Clemson gets it going, they'll make the playoffs. Man, that's pretty hard to believe.
No one's really picking them to do anything.
That's really a great statement. That's
Garrett Riley.
Yeah.
Garrett
You
Riley.
got it right. You got it right.
Is their OC now? He did a
Are you
great
being
job.
sarcastic? Or are you being
No, when am I ever? I'm never that way. All right, let me finish up my little segment. I want your input on this too, okay? Now, you say there's 3 can't get in from one league. I think maybe you might be wrong. Let's look at this. Let's just play this out. The number 1 team in the country, the Georgia Bulldogs, back-to-back national championships. They go undefeated in the SEC championship game. They play the mighty Crimson Tide of Alabama, which is also undefeated. They won at home against LSU in double overtime, and they make the extra point and win. Now, you got number 1 Georgia playing number 2 Alabama in the SEC championship. LSU is ranked number 4. Ohio State has lost 2 games. Michigan got beat by Michigan State, Surfside, and Jinx, so they're out of the picture. Penn State's lost 2 ball games, and Southern Cal lost 2 games. Okay, we got a lot of teams with 2 losses, not very many with 1. So, in the SEC championship game, Alabama beats Georgia in overtime. Alabama's 13-0. Back-to-back defending national champ Georgia is 12-1. LSU's sitting home at 11-1. You mean to tell me we couldn't get 3 teams from the great SEC where it just means more in the national championship playoffs? How could you keep all 3 of those football programs out? Who's won the last 3 national championships? LSU, Alabama, and Georgia. It can happen. It should happen. It will happen. SEC.
You know, if it's going to happen, it's going to be 3 SEC schools because NCAA loves the SEC.
Hey, that was a pretty good play out, wasn't it? That's a possibility. That would be the only way you get 3 teams.
You know,
the last 3 national championship teams.
The SEC part of it could happen.
Thank you.
But all the losses by the other teams will never happen.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Never.
But that would be the only way you'd get 3 teams in for one.
And if it were to happen, it would be the SEC because everybody loves them.
But Ray had to work out the last 3 defending national championship teams would be in there. I mean, really, that's been LSU, Alabama, and Georgia. Matter of fact, when's the last time the Big Ten's won a national championship in football? Was Woody the coach then? Oh, wait, it was Urban. I'm sorry.
It was Paul Brown.
It was Urban. When's the last time Michigan's won a national championship?
97.
That's
Nebraska won that one.
You can't count those ties with who'd they tie with?
Nebraska. That was a party gift for Coach Osborne, where one poll said Nebraska, one poll said Michigan, and
I agree with you on that.
And the refs helped out Nebraska.
How much time do we got?
That one game.
Hey, Michigan, we got to take a break real quick. You can hang on if you'd like to. All right, let's talk about some of our great people. Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Do you want to look better, feel better? We all can't look like Jason Kovaleski, but when we get in there and talk to him, he can train us. He can teach us up. He can get us on the right things to eat and take and supplements. I mean, the guy's what he does for a living, and we can get there. Look at Jim Brandt, 275, now he weighs 200 pounds. He looks like a lean,
a little more than that,
a lean machine, lean fight machine. He looks good. Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Now, 2 great locations, Pier Park and on 23rd Street. We don't have to drive to Pier Park anymore. Dr. Ward, 1 in 5 develop skin cancer. If it does not look right, does not feel right, you're in trouble. You better go see Dr. Ward. 5 minutes can save your life. Offices throughout the Panhandle of Florida. The guy's incredible. You listen tomorrow at 7:30, and we'll be right back. We're listening to 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida has the real local fishing report. Hi, this is Tim from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle. Join me every Friday at 4:20 during the afternoon Underdogs. It's accurate, detailed content from local anglers, plus fishing updates on Saturday and Sunday morning right when you hit the water. Advice and stories from local anglers. Tune into the Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle Fishing Report, exclusively on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Tuesday. Mostly sunny this afternoon and evening with a wind coming out of the southwest at 9 miles per hour and the high of 94. Tonight, look for mostly clear skies with a temperature near 83. Tomorrow, a high around 96 and mostly sunny most of the day aside from a chance of thunderstorms in the evening. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Take your next adventure in an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. The SUV family has movement that inspires, and we invite you to test drive the new 2023 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. You can command the road in a sedan from Bill Bird Kia. Drive away today in a new 2023 Rio, Forte, K5, or Stinger, and discover the all-new Kia at Bill Bird Kia. 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKia.com. Peace of mind you can trust at your local community dealer, Bill Bird Kia.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
WGSX Lincoln, WVLQ Port St. John, ESPN Northwest Florida.
With summer winding down and another school year upon us, That Boot Store invites the entire family to shop for the widest selections of Western and work clothing in the area at prices you can afford. Don't forget to drive carefully. The roads will be busy. A reminder from That Boot Store. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 to 5, Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5:30. Next to Bill Bird Kia on 15th Street, Panama City. And remember, God is good all the time. That Boot Store.
Hi, this is Ryan Mulvey. Join me weekdays starting at 11 for the Inside Drive. The latest sports stories, the biggest reactions, and even sports betting right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Greatest song in the history of college football, the fight song. Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide. Alabama Update is brought to you by Stevens Air Conditioning. Jason does an incredible job. Great employees, locals, helping out locals. I love local people. He grew up here in Bay County, and he is a legend. His company's outstanding. We all go with him, and he does a great job. Get his service about every 6 months. It'll last longer, save you some money. If you got an old one that's all beat up, all it's doing is spinning you, that dial outside power thing is just spinning, costing you big time money. Go with Stevens Air Conditioning. You'll save money in the long run. I'm telling you that right now. Stevens Air Conditioning, #1. Alabama Crimson Tide. All right. Is Michigan still on the phone?
I'm here. I have a question for you.
Go ahead, sir.
So how's Bryce Young doing in NFL training camp? I know Brian Branch and Will Anderson are just crushing it. What's the status of Bryce Young?
I don't deal with former players. I deal with college. I don't deal with NFL. I protest against that. No, I'm just kidding. He's doing pretty good. He got hit, and I'm telling you, I worry about him. I really, truly worry about him. He got hit, and they showed a couple times. I thought they about broke his neck. He's not very big. I just worry about his body taking the punishment in one season, just one season, much less, down the road.
Yeah.
I just hope he can stay healthy because he's a bright young man, great football player, better person, and he's wealthy. He's got all that guaranteed money. Just stay healthy, baby. Stay healthy. Now, I know the Buckeye boy's doing pretty good. Where's he at?
Yeah, he's with the Texans.
Yeah,
Houston.
He's
and Will Anderson's crushing it too.
Well, what do you expect? Where did they get? You go to Alabama for a reason. You go to Alabama to go to the next level. You want to be developed. You want to come and be a great person, a great individual. You want to help society. You want to be a winner in life. You go to Alabama. You want to go to the NFL, become an all-pro, go in the Hall of Fame. You go to Alabama. You want to win a national championship, SEC championship, go to huge bowl games. You go to Alabama. We're coming.
You mean you don't go to Hattiesburg?
We're coming.
You don't go to Southern Miss?
We're coming. Well, you do every once in a while.
Yeah.
If you're elite athlete, the problem with me, I was not an elite athlete. I wasn't even an athlete.
Well, didn't you get recruited though by the Coach Bear though?
I had Mal Moore came and saw me spring practice, talked to me. We had to visit and everything. Never saw him again. I was terrible. I was the worst scholarship football player in the history of college football.
I'm reserving all my comments.
I could hustle. I was a hustler, though. Now, can we do the Alabama up now, Michigan? Can you quit asking me these personal questions? Can we do the Alabama update? All right.
Hey,
all right, here we go.
I got to go. I'll call you back.
Bye.
We'll miss you. Thank you, dude.
Yeah,
hey, miss me. Don't answer the phone. All right, here we go. Worst case for Alabama this season. ESPN identifies realistic best worst for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Disaster for Alabama is losing 3 football games. Most colleges, you go 9-3, they'd be pretty happy. 10-3, win a bowl game. They're okay. You lose 3 games to Alabama, we're looking for a new coach. It's sad, but it's kind of now we're not going to get rid of Nick Saban, but we will be disappointed. That's the 4 for Alabama, 3 losses. It could happen this year, guy. Alex Scarborough posted some stuff and said some things. Alabama's replacing a Heisman Trophy quarterback, a star, Bryce Young, first-round draft pick. Good luck with that, Bama. But that's not Alabama's only problem, Jim. It really isn't. It's not our only problem. We've gone through the fall camp and a lot of ifs about Alabama's offense. The receivers, that position right there. I've heard they've dropped a lot of passes. They have outstanding speed. They can run routes, but they've had a hard time dropping the football. Last year in big games, they dropped the football. So that's not the only problem. The quarterback, who's the quarterback going to be? It's also the receivers. All these 4 and 5 stars that they've signed having a hard time catching the football. And somebody said, well, one reason the problem has been they've had all these different quarterbacks throwing the ball to them, and they haven't decided which quarterback's going to throw the ball enough to them. No. Jim, do you know when you're catching the ball, okay, Jim Brandt's throwing me the ball now. I probably won't catch this one. Oh, Smitty's throwing the ball to me now. I can catch that. Come on. No, it's not the quarterback. Give me a break. It's focus, man.
Right.
Watch the ball go into your hands. Keep your eye on the ball. Watch it go in your hands. Watch it tucked away under your arm. If they do that, they'll catch the football. They've coached them up well. They will improve at wide receiver as the season goes along. But I could see Alabama losing 3 football games. You got LSU, and one good thing about it, though, you got all 3 of the ones they could probably lose to are at home. Texas week 2. It won't surprise me a bit if Texas goes in there and beats Alabama. LSU comes in after both of them have bye weeks. Won't surprise me a bit. The last time they did it, when they won their last national championship, Coach O, he went in there, he got it done. They beat Alabama at home. President Trump was at the game. Tennessee beat us last year, and that's a streak. Once they beat us, it seems like they win 4 or 5 in a row. We beat them 15 in a row. So that won't surprise me. Another game to keep your eye on, we go to Texas A&M out there on the road. That could happen. No, we have not played well against the last 3 times we played A&M. It's gone down to the wire. So that's a possibility. So we got more than one little problem in Alabama, but one thing we have at Bama, we got Nick Saban and the defense. I think the defense can be really good this year. For us to have a great year, we're going to have to play great defense, control the clock. And, Jim, people forget the game's changed. The clock's going to continue to run. So if you can keep the ball away from people, especially Alabama this year, the way they used to win those championships, pound the ball, run the ball on the ground, and keep the clock away from these teams. And another game you better watch out for, all you Bama people, don't run your mouth too much. If Auburn's ranked at the end of the year, we go in the Iron Bowl there, we're going to lose. We never beat Auburn in Auburn when they're ranked. We don't. Tell me the last time that's happened. I don't even remember. Come on, Smitty, help. Just make up a name. Can you remember?
1955.
That was the last time. 1955 sounds fine to me.
You were singing the praises of Auburn yesterday.
I got a feeling they're going to be better. I do. Well, we're going to know a little bit more here in a little while.
You know something we don't know, right?
Well, Andy Burst's going to tell us all we need to know at 8:15.
Here's the thing that's overlooked in Alabama last year. We talk about it. The 2 things that in the past have not been an issue but were a big issue for them last year, giving up big plays, giving up on defense, giving up big. Tennessee torched them, and penalties.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to get better. I mean, you can't. Ohio State gave up big plays too, obviously, too. I mean, that's something that's really overlooked, you know. We used to keep, when I was a coach, we used to keep track of how many plays over 20 yards do you give up. And when you're good, that's not a very big number. But when you're not very good, you'd be surprised how many plays we're getting burned and getting torched, giving up big runs, giving up big passes. And Alabama had a problem with that when it counted the most. You know, they played Tennessee, and they just got gutted. Oh, my God. Kid had 5 touchdown catches. When is that ever happening against Alabama?
Well,
eliminate big plays.
The Texas game, if the quarterback didn't go down, we couldn't cover the receivers then. They were behind us three times, I remember, 5 yards behind Alabama's secondary, and the quarterback didn't get the ball to him. We could have lost that game really easy. And so that was the thing, struggle the whole year.
And penalties, too.
Yeah. all this negative talk, and everybody's going to Alabama, and they will be a young football team this year, break in a new quarterback. But I just remember years in the past when we broke in new quarterbacks that we won national championships. So I'm not saying they're going to lose 3 games. They could very easily go 12-0. I don't think they go undefeated. And not only is Alabama having a hard time, another powerhouse program have a hard time determining who the quarterback's going to be. Ohio State doesn't know who their quarterback is either. They don't. I listened to Coach Day on TV.
That don't mean anything.
He goes, we might not name a starter until we might play 2 in the first game.
That doesn't mean anything.
So it does mean something to Alabama, but not to Ohio State.
No, it doesn't mean anything in Alabama either.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just my. Here's my thing about. I'm glad you brought that up because I was thinking about, fan bases, Alabama, Ohio State, they get all excited. Hey, did you see that we signed Jimmy Joe Jones from Junction City, Kansas, as our quarterback? He's a 12-star quarterback. He's going to be outstanding. Now, fast forward 2 years when Jimmy Joe Jones from Junction City, Kansas has to play. Now, I'm not sure if he can play. I don't know. He doesn't have any experience. Now, listen, you can't have it both ways. You can't be all fired up and all excited when you get this player on your program. But then 2 years down the road when he has to play, like, oh, man, I don't know if he's ready. He didn't get any reps last year. Come on. Either he can play or he can't. That's my opinion about people getting all excited about.
The same thing with Georgia. Everybody's like,
and Carson Beck.
The way he recruits, I'm not worried about Georgia.
Why do you worry about it?
Yeah.
I don't worry. I'm serious. Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, they got the best records for the past, 50 years?
In one poll, those were the first 4 or 5 teams: Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan. And Michigan was the only one that has a quarterback back. LSU, I think, was 5th. They got a quarterback back. Those other 3 have brand new guys coming in, but they're still some of the best players in the country.
And let's go. I hate to give Michigan some love, but let's just use Michigan as an example. Last year, they started with Cade McNamara for like the first 2-3 games. Harbaugh had enough sense to go, this guy isn't. He's okay, but he's not really what we need. And he switched to the other guy. And look how that turned out. So I don't get worried about quarterbacks at all. Not at certain programs. I just don't.
Smitty,
they'll figure it out.
They're predict. This one guy thinks Bama's going to struggle. That they're going to. The worst case for Bama's 3 losses. Best case, undefeated. There's a possibility that happens also. I don't. I think they'll lose at least 1. But if they do lose 3 games, the last time Alabama lost 3 games in the season was back in 2010. They went 10-3. Okay. They played Michigan State in a bowl game after going 9-3 regular season, beat them by 50 points, just killed them in Orlando. What do you think? What happens to Bama if they go 9-3 regular season?
2010, everything's changed since then. Everything has changed. But they go all the way. If they get that far, they go all the way. All the way.
All right, Jim, what happens if they go 9-3?
At Alabama?
Alabama regular season this year. I think the place explodes. People are going to be freaked out their throats.
The fans will go absolutely ape. Nick will stick around for another year because he's no way he's going to go out like that.
Money will start rolling in. But
the fans will go nuts. Yeah. They'd go nuts. That would be like the apocalypse. They'd go crazy.
Well, and honestly, going forward, though, really and truly, going for even Georgia and Ohio State, too. Going forward, when you bring all these other good teams in, it's hard to go into. Scheduling so big deal. I mean, having an easy schedule helps. And when you bring in Oklahoma and Texas, and you got teams, quality teams you play week in, week out, you're going to lose. The Big Ten, bringing in USC, Oregon, Washington, and LSU and UCLA, it's back to back playing those physical games. Right. It adds up. It's going to be hard to go undefeated. So I'm okay with going to 12 teams now.
I think people need to pump the brakes on going to undefeated thing.
Yeah.
It's just really hard, and especially the way the college landscape is now to go undefeated because of what you talk about. The 18-team Big Ten. Pick out your 8-9 conference games there, and you're going to beat all them plus your non-conference too. Yeah. It's not realistic. Championships should be the goal, and at certain programs, national championships should be the goal. But going undefeated, that's really unrealistic.
It's going to be really hard to do that. You don't
for
see
anyone
anymore.
Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, USC, anyone.
All right, let's talk about some of our great people. It's not hard for Stevenson Air Conditioning to go undefeated. They're always a champion. They always win. Use them one time, you'll use them every time. And I'm telling you right now, if it breaks down the middle of the night, you call Stevenson Air Conditioning, they'll take care of you. They're number one, not even close. J. Michael's Restaurant, the best seafood, coldest beer you'll get anywhere. For all your real estate needs, do what Mark Coward, Beth Movey do, the big-time realtors of the Southeast. They all go to South Oak Title and Closing. Chuck Tucker's number one, got an unbelievable company, offices throughout the Panhandle of Florida. You make sure, don't make a mistake, no surprises, South Oak Title and Closing. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, the best Mexican food you'll get anywhere, the newest one in town, the newest right here in Panama City and Bay County, right across the street from the Navy base. Go try it, you'll absolutely love it. Buy one, get one free. We'll be right back. Andy Burcham, Auburn Tigers, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're the radio home of the Mosley Dolphins.
High school football is back. This Thursday night, we're going under the lights. It's the Mosley Dolphins versus the Rutherford Rams, live from Tommy Oliver Stadium. Coverage starts Thursday at 6:30, kickoff at 7. Listen live right here on your home for the Mosley Dolphins. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Tuesday. Mostly sunny this afternoon and evening with a wind coming out of the southwest at 9 miles per hour and the high of 94. Tonight, look for mostly clear skies with a temperature near 83. Tomorrow, a high around 96 and mostly sunny most of the day aside from a chance of thunderstorms in the evening. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Sykes Concrete has been in business in this area since 1947, and 3 generations later, they're still going strong. See Sykes Concrete for dirt, sand, rock, and concrete. They can handle any size job from the smallest to the largest. Sykes Concrete pays CDL truck drivers some of the highest wages in Bay County, making $50,000 to $75,000 a year, including holiday and vacation pay, plus health insurance. See Hugh Sykes at Sykes Concrete, 8030 Highway 77 on the right, just north of Southport Elementary School.
At Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, you can find all the necessary items for an unforgettable fishing experience. From pin rods and reels to the best hand-tied rigs in Florida, we have it all. With the help of our friendly and knowledgeable staff, you can be sure that you have the right gear to make that big catch. Come experience a great local bait and tackle shop located directly off 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach, located just 5 miles west of Pier Park.
College football isn't life and death. It's much more important than that. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Eagle! Hey! Auburn Update, brought to you by now, the one and only out of Lynn Haven, Florida. Beef O'Brady's sponsors the Auburn Update. Get out there and see Pat. Pat does a great job over there. City Commissioner, always doing so many great things. And, of course, Beef O'Brady's on Wednesdays, the special around town.
He must be busy because he's
really
in here.
He's
normally he's in here with us on Tuesday.
Well, they got commissioner meetings. They got everything going on. Beef O'Brady's on Wednesdays from 11:33, 10 wings, drink, and a side for only $9.99. Can't beat that. Get out to Beef O'Brady's anytime. Have a wonderful time. Great atmosphere. War Eagle. All right, let's bring him on. Andy Burcham, the voice of the Auburn Tigers, the legend himself. How you doing, sir?
James, I'm doing well. It's been a minute.
Andy, I almost had my attorney contact you. My back is killing me. I blame you. I've been having to carry this show for the whole summer without you. Thank God you're back.
Well, I guess I better get to my chiropractor then, huh?
That's right.
Did you have a good summer? Did you get some time off? What'd you do? What'd y'all guys get to do?
Well, we spent some time up in the Midwest where I'm from, a little bit of time at home to see my mother and family, and then we all gathered, and we had folks from Springdale, Arkansas, and Norman, Oklahoma, and Illinois and Alabama, and we gathered in Branson, Missouri.
All right.
So it was a place that, as a kid, we used to go almost every summer at Silver Dollar City, kind of a small Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
And that's where we gathered. And then since that time, we have been working and have moved a niece and nephew here to Alabama from Illinois. So that has taken up a great deal of our time. And now, of course, we're a couple days away from Tiger Talk and a week and a half away from the season opener against UMass. So it's been a busy summer.
I got to ask you now, your mother, does she understand, and the people in your hometown, do they understand how big it is, how big the SEC, how big Auburn is, like your job, the voice of Auburn? Do they understand that?
They have, the family understands. And by the way, my mother is 83 years old today. So happy birthday, Marquita.
Happy birthday. God bless you.
Yeah. And they have an idea, but when I go home, I'm still just, I'm Andy. That's it. There's no pomp and circumstance, nor is there any expected.
Oh, my God. All right, man. Let's get into Auburn Tiger update. Andy, Hugh Freeze, good Lord. They had one word to describe Auburn fan base. You'd have to say excited. They did something special, and I agree with him. What he's done with that coaching staff and recruiting, they get the 5-star linebacker away from Georgia. I think the big one, though, is that the kid from Foley, the receiver. I think it's Perry Thompson's name, the 5-star. They got him committed. They got all these great transfers coming in. But he said something that really stood out when he mentioned during the summertime. He goes, we're getting ready to go into fall camp, and we really don't know what we have. We've had so many different transfer. College football's changed so much. They go through the camp, and to me, I'm hearing good things. I don't know. I didn't talk about the scrimmage Saturday because I wanted to ask you questions about that. What did you hear about the last scrimmage of fall camp? How did it go? Who's doing well?
Well, one of the guys that I believe that stood out in that scrimmage was Shane Hooks at wide receiver. And we know that that's an area that has to improve for Auburn, not just this season, but seasons moving on.
Right.
And I think that's been one of the areas of emphasis in the transfer portal for 2023, but obviously what Auburn is recruiting for 24 into 25 as well. And Shane Hooks had a good scrimmage Saturday. I think they were impressed as well, James, with the running back room. Jarquez Hunter and Damari Alston and Brian Battie and Jeremiah Cobb. Even Sean Jackson, who's kind of the fifth guy, but has impressed folks. They moved around a little bit on the offensive line. It's going to be interesting to see what they do up front because for most of the spring or the fall, we've seen Dylan Wade at left tackle, and then Cam Stutz and Jeremiah Wright, not Cam Stutz, Tate Johnson, Jeremiah Wright alternating at guard. Avery Jones seems to be solid at center. Cam Stutz, I think, is very solid at the right guard spot. And then we saw Gunnar Britton at right tackle. Well, in the scrimmage Saturday, and Hugh Freeze talked about this after the scrimmage, Azabian, they call him Too Tall Miller, a lineman from Memphis, transferred to Auburn from Southwest Mississippi Community College. They can't keep him off the field. So at one point, he was at right tackle, and they moved Gunnar Britton over to left guard.
Wow.
So there's still some moving going on in that offense. And from what I gather, they liked what they saw from all three of the quarterbacks. Peyton Thorne, of course, who's been named as QB1, the starter. And then I think they like the way that Robbie Ashford has responded to that.
Yeah.
And he is a guy with a unique skill set because of the quarterbacks that Auburn has, no one runs the football like Robbie Ashford. And he has to continue to improve upon his passing skills and decision-making at the quarterback spot. So that's just a couple things from the offense. They also, I think we're going to enjoy watching number 13 this season, Rivaldo Fairweather. There's really a hybrid tight end. When you look at him on the field, he looks more like a big receiver than just a tight end. and he gives Auburn an opportunity at the tight end spot. And I talked with Ben Angamoa, the tight end coach, last week. By the way, I got him to pronounce his last name for me because I wasn't even close.
We just make them up. We can't pronounce them. I make them up.
Well, I try to be as accurate as I can. but they like the fact that he can take the top off of a defense at the tight end spot.
Yeah.
And that gives you another wrinkle in your offense right now. So that was kind of my thoughts and listening to Coach Freeze after the scrimmage on Saturday, some of the things that he talked about with this offense right now.
Now, you mentioned earlier, was it Tiger Talk?
Tiger Talk is Thursday night. Our first
so it's
Tiger
back.
Talk of the season.
It's back. Wow. Okay. Now, give us a little rundown. What's going to happen Thursday night? Who's going to be on there with you?
Yeah, we'll have Coach Freeze on with us. Auburn's athletic director John Cohen will join Brad Law and myself, and we will have a couple players. We don't know who those players are.
Okay.
At this point, so that's the lineup Thursday night, and then next Thursday, game week, we'll be out at Baumhauer's Victory Grill here in Auburn, and we look forward to that. It's fun to be there, and we've had some great crowds there, and we will look forward to Tiger Talk starting Thursday night.
Andy, what time does it start?
6 o'clock Central Time, so 7 o'clock East. You guys are Central, right?
We're Central, yes.
Okay, so 6 o'clock Central.
Okay, looking forward to that. Hey, have you had a chance? Have you seen Robbie Ashford? Have you seen him in person? How big? How good he looks? How big?
He's 6'3", 212. I mean, he looks good looking. He's a good looking athlete.
Yes, his legs.
He'd look good. He'd look good playing in the outfield for Auburn baseball. He'd look good playing for Coach Prum. He's an athlete. He's a really good athlete, and Coach Freeze has talked about he likens Robbie Ashford's skill set to Malik Willis.
Yeah.
So he had, of course, at Liberty, the former Auburn quarterback that went to Liberty and just exploded there.
Right.
And I believe Coach Freeze feels that Ashford has even more of an upside than Malik did.
Yeah.
Or does. I mean, he's in the NFL now. So he's a great athlete. And I'm glad to see. But listen, I mean, in this day and age, you never know how someone's going to react when they're told they're not going to be QB1.
Right.
And I think they so far they've liked how he has responded to that. And Coach Freeze has said, guys, that there will be a package for Robbie Ashford in every game. So we're going to see number 9 on the field for the Tigers.
Yeah, I watched him play in high school. He was unbelievable, and I like I love his attitude right now. I've been reading some stuff what he's been saying. And the thing about it, you're one play away, and you never know when that play is going to be there for you. I mean, anything can happen. One injury away, he's ready to go. But
he's more than one. It's more than just one play away. I mean, he is part of the offensive package.
Right.
We will see him on the field regardless if he's QB1 or QB2. It doesn't matter.
Well, Andy, I'm so glad you're back. I mean, we miss you. I hope you had a great summer. Looking forward to being with you this year. We'll talk to you next Tuesday. I tell you what, man, I'm pumped up about college football. Everybody's talking about Auburn and Florida, and everybody doesn't really know what to expect from each team. I got a feeling, I've already said this before, I got a feeling Auburn's going to surprise people, and I think Florida's going to be better also. But I agree
with you there. Yeah, I agree about Florida.
Yeah, I do, man. But listen, thank you so much. We got to get off the air right now. Thank you so much for coming on. We'll talk to you next week, buddy. Thank you, sir.
James, take care. Have a great day. War Eagle.
War Eagle. Andy Burcham. Get out to Beefo Braves. Have a great time, man. Think about those Auburn Tigers, Jim. Well, on Wednesday, 10 wings, drink and a side for $9.99. You can't get that anywhere. Maybe at Judy's house. That's maybe about the only place you can get it. Get out to Beefo Braves. Have a good time. Out Beefo Braves, Lynn Haven. Love Pat. All right, let's also talk about Paparazzi Gourmet Deli. If you want a pizza, why just settle for pizza? Go to restaurants, got everything. They got a bakery, they got a deli, they got it all. Paparazzi Gourmet Deli on Thomas Drive, the best pizza you'll get anywhere. Desserts are unreal. Turf Pro Pest Control. You want that feels? Pat dye field look like your yard, it can happen. Turf Pro Pest Control, call Patrick. He'll get it done for you. There's no doubt about that. They're incredible. All right, we'll be right back. Jim Durant, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're the radio home of the Mosley Dolphins.
High school football is back. This Thursday night, we're going under the lights. It's the Mosley Dolphins versus the Rutherford Rams, live from Tommy Oliver Stadium. Coverage starts Thursday at 6:30, kickoff at 7. Listen live right here on your home for the Mosley Dolphins. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Your biggest investment is your home. Protect it while also improving its appearance with Earthworks of Northwest Florida. We have sand, mulch, gravel, or lay-down decorative stone, all available for pickup and delivery. Discover your dream landscape with Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Imagine the moment you proudly pull up to your home that you've worked so hard for, enhanced by quality mulch, decorative stones, and more. Let's make it happen today. Request a quote online at earthworkspc.com or swing by the office at 2005 Industrial Drive. Love the land you live on.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Great design is timeless, and that's why Tracy's Fine Jewelry inside Coin and Bullion Reserves offers a stunning selection of vintage, antique, estate jewelry on sale now at 40% off. Exquisite Victorian rings, Art Deco diamond brooches, Georgian and Art Deco bracelets, earrings, and pendants. These one-of-a-kind pieces add personality to any ensemble, and now at 40% off. Find your timeless treasure at Tracy's Fine Jewelry inside Coin and Bullion Reserves.
I don't always talk to Alabama fans, but when I do, I ask for large fries. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we're back, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Pat is in the building. Mr. Lindhaven himself, Mr. Beefo Brace. Pat, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm making it.
You're looking good, brother.
I migrated across the bridge. It was wonderful.
Hey, it's painful, isn't it? I'm glad you're here.
If you're getting the right batch of folks, it is.
Hey, what's this new computer phone you got?
Oh, my God. Man, I went and got Natalie, my general manager, and she was kicking and screaming, but she's always on a laptop in the middle of the restaurant, and it's like, girl, I'm going to get you a laptop on your phone. So basically, we got laptops on our darn phone. We got these Z Folds, and it just opens up to it's like a TV screen in your hand, So
you walk in computer, you do everything you want.
Yeah.
She pay all your bills.
She can do on the point of sale, and she doesn't have to be standing in the middle at the crow's nest in the middle of the restaurant on a laptop, because you're stationary when you're on a laptop. At least she's sticking and moving.
Do you have one of those?
No,
I'm not that.
That's above my pay grade.
I don't think I can handle those things.
There's an old fella that comes in, Robert Neves. He always has a flip phone. He's never gone in, and so I showed him. I said, "Look at this flip phone, Robert." He's like, "I'm gonna get me one of them."
Honestly, I kept my flip phone a real long time. I hate change. I hate all this kind of stuff. I'm not good at it. Yeah,
it's been a pain.
Andy, you missed it, man. Pat, you missed Andy, the Auburn update. He did a great job. The voice of the Auburn Tigers. He's incredible. Legend.
Yeah, he does a good job.
I was listening in the car. He's thought about the same way as my family. It's just me when I'm home,
Yeah.
Yep.
Good, man.
It doesn't matter.
Have y'all ever been do y'all go to Missouri much? I've never been. I don't think I've ever been to Missouri.
I have never been to Branson or Missouri, but
I've heard of people going there. I might try it out.
I knew a few people from there, and they were good folks.
Yeah, I might try this vacation thing. Blaine, my roommate in college, him and Diane, they're going to go do that. And they'll leave in October. They're going to go to maybe the same town he was talking, outside Branson, some more town.
Yep.
What's going on with Beef O'Brady's? We've been talking about Wednesday special.
I know, y'all been doing a great job talking us up. I don't even need to be on here.
Love it, man.
You talked about more in your absence than you do when you're here. But we're raring to go for football. We're doing fantasy football drafts. We're getting ready for a little shock and awe, a little add on to the restaurant. It'll probably happen about mid-late October. We're going to put a little patio on.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Right.
We're gonna juice up the menu. We got an Oktoberfest menu coming. I'm gonna go see the man today about possibly doing pizza in the restaurant, getting everything set up for that. So we did pizza before the storm, and then we stopped. But there's a new pizza program coming out for Beef O'Brady's, and we'll do 10-inch pizzas, which people always are asking you for.
So when's that going to start?
I'm hoping to start it around 1st October. We're gonna kick around and special it. I've got to get the equipment in place and get the egress right on the cook line. Right. So it's just one of those things that you got to work with. You got to kind of move things along. Like we can do this, guys.
You got everything straightened out in Lynn Haven, the city of Lynn Haven. You got it straightened out. Everything good
tonight. A lot of folks got letters in the mail in Lynn Haven about their non-ad valorem stormwater assessment. So the letter came out, and the process of which the city's going to do it. So tonight's meeting is going to be interesting. So I know if anybody has an issue, come and talk to us tonight at 5:30.
All right. So you were. I tell you what, I love walking into your place. Everybody's got a smile on their face.
We love having you. You knew everybody in the place. You were like the mayor when you were in there.
That was fun. we had a good, Jim, you got to go. We got to get you over there.
Y'all should come over.
We will. I'll take him over there and buy him lunch one day. But I remember.
Wings, how can you say no?
You know it.
I'm not taking you.
You know it.
I'm not taking you. I'm taking Jim.
You owe me one.
You spend too much money.
I'll take you if you keep playing that good rock and roll.
Hey, Pat, just for those who aren't sure, just like myself, where exactly are you located?
We're in Lynn Haven on Highway 77, across from the post office, just before Walmart.
Right near that
Publix shopping center in Lynn Haven on 77.
Can't beat it, baby.
No, you can't beat it.
I remember the great old times going down there meeting Scott Rossman. We'd film all the games. We'd eat like kings.
Oh, yeah. We've had a few shows over there with y'all.
I gained a little bit of weight that year.
Yeah.
That was fun. No, Smitty, I'd be glad to take you. It's not too far from you either, man. You're not that far away from there.
No, that's right. Just right down the road.
We can do, you know what? We can do that. Let's all go dinner and eat one day. We got to do it on a Wednesday, though. Get those wings.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I had a hamburger over there when I did.
Booth together.
Yeah,
that hamburger was good. Burger was good. Yep.
All right. Let's get into I want to get into something before then I'll let you do your thing.
Okay.
Deion Sanders. Did you guys hear about this? I knew they were doing something. Deion, primetime, we all know who he is. They've got this thing going on live on campus, Colorado. Amazon is filming everything, and they meet with the athletic director, the officials at Colorado, the MD, trying to make sure everybody's helping what they're doing, not get, I guess maybe find something too personal. I don't know, but they meet, and then they keep rolling, and they're going to show this later on. It's going to be on Amazon, and it's about Deion Sanders turning around Colorado. A lot of great exposure for Colorado. I'm telling you, as far as recruiting and everything like that, what other guy could go in and do what he's done if his name wasn't Deion Sanders? How does it happen, Jim? Because he's prime time.
Because he's prime time, that's right.
Yeah. FSU, one of their best football players history.
Hardest working guy in practice, Bobby Bowden said.
Yeah.
Who worked harder in practice? Bobby Bowden said Deion Sanders.
I know that when I heard that, Mickey Andrews said that too. It's like, that was kind of a surprise. It's like, he's got the most natural athletic ability of anybody, but he worked at it really hard.
Amazing athlete. Yeah. I got to see practice in Tully Gym, and when it rained, because they didn't have the indoor facility back then, and I got to see Deion just juking defensive backs and then turning around and working with them on coverage, like himself. He was an amazing fella. I saw him at the McDonald's drive-thru. I saw him on the baseball field. I've never seen anybody run faster on a baseball field. Never. He sounded like when the ball left the bat, and then it was like a deer trotting around the darn.
Yeah, I saw him play baseball.
Fastest guy on the bases I've ever seen.
When he played for Cincinnati, and you're right, he could really run. Oh my goodness!
Oh yeah. Cincinnati has a rookie, a guy who can run the bases too this year. So,
didn't they he played 2 games, NFL football game and a baseball game right on the same day?
Yeah, I believe he did.
They flew him in on a helicopter or something?
I believe he did.
I think so.
I gotta tell you, he's doing Metro Conference baseball tournament, and then turn around and they put him in a golf cart and he's changing clothes in the golf cart to get over there to they had Metro Conference track going on at the same place, and then he lines up and runs the 440 relay for FSU. Unbelievable. He did track, baseball, football.
Phenomenal.
And he was a walk-on athlete. Because he played after sophomore year, he played for the Yankees in the summer. So he was a professional athlete. So he renounced his scholarship, and but he still stayed in there. Of course, then they had the Dion rule for not finishing your school. So
they have record-breaking sales tickets. The merchandise that Colorado's selling like you wouldn't believe. Everything's breaking records out there because of him.
Yep, he's bringing a whole different thing.
He's coming.
He didn't give them numbers when they started. You're going to earn your number.
He wasn't pleased with practice the other day either. By the way, he was upset. He saw some kids quit. He jumped them pretty hard. TCU. They open up with them the first game. It's going to be on noon on Fox TV Sports. I'm going to watch that game because Dion.
You know why Dion got on him at practice, right? Because he was coached by Mickey Andrews.
I don't know if he talks that way or cusses that way at practice like this.
Yeah,
Mickey's the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah,
but then
he's a great guy. You get him on a practice field.
Yeah, Mickey was a taskmaster in practice. I remember we were at a clinic and we went to their practice. I'd never seen Florida State. You kind of have this image of Bobby Bowden of being kind of the good old, just a nice guy. Man, their practices were hard.
They went hard in practice.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah.
Those DBs, when Mickey Andrews coached DBs, if they got beat deep, wherever the ball landed, okay, the DB had to bear crawl back from, it could be 70 yards downfield. You got to bear crawl back after you get beat deep. It's like, okay, I hope you don't get beat deep very often. Mickey Andrews was tough.
He made them play, and they respected him too. I don't know of another coach that when they come back they just adore him.
He was a secret to Bobby.
He really was.
No question.
Yeah, he was the best assistant college coach for a long time.
Yeah, Ken Donahue was a secret for Bear Bryant. Mickey was a secret for Bobby Bowden. We only had 2. It went by quickly. You got to be kidding me. Pam, we get back, we'll just talk a little bit about golf. All right. Now, we got our giveaway, Race to Daytona. We're getting ready to give you the code word. And you got to go ahead, John, take over.
Okay, here it is. It's your chance to win 2 tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400. The race is Saturday, August the 26th at 7 p.m. Here's how you play. First of all, you listen to the Coach James Hale Show at 8:45. That's now. And then get ready to text the code word to 850-215-6290. And then listen to the Afternoon Underdogs. When they call your name, you call in as quickly as you can, and voila, that is your time. And then whoever has the best time, the shortest time, the quickest time will win 2 tickets to the Daytona race in Daytona, the Coke Zero Sugar 400. Your code word, and you want to text this to 215-6290. The code word for today is caution.
Caution.
Caution. The code word for today is caution. Text that and then listen to the Afternoon Underdogs. If they call your name, you could be a winner.
All right, we'll be right back. But before we do, make sure if you love barbecue, is Rudy's Barbecue on Bat Beach Road the best? Try their turkey plates. Unbelievable. Rudy's Barbecue. Don't forget about the Lorelei Leighton room in the back. Chamber meetings. Heck, you can have a banquet back there. Get out to Rudy's Barbecue. Have a great time. Don't forget about Dr. Chad Mitchell. Any type of injury. Jim, it's 24 years now he's been on the sidelines. A legendary doctor here in Bay County. And you don't have to be a great athlete to go see Chad. If you get injured in any way, call Mitchell. Make an appointment. You listen to him every Monday morning right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. That Cajun place, don't forget all their specials down there. We'll be right back. You listen to ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
No, that's all right. Let me tell you this.
I'm just, trying to add to the conversation.
You're doing good. You're doing good.
I'm stealing his thunder now. Wow.
Obviously, we're going to try to get all the seniors' information out, which we have done and are doing currently, to give them an opportunity. I always tell them, there's a place to play in college football if you want to play. You may have
Weekday mornings 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Tuesday. Mostly sunny this afternoon and evening with a wind coming out of the southwest at 9 miles per hour and a high of 94. Tonight, look for mostly clear skies with a temperature near 83. Tomorrow, a high around 96 and mostly sunny most of the day aside from a chance of thunderstorms in the evening. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Chuck was terrible at fishing. He spent many frustrating hours attempting to get results he saw from internet videos, aggravating trial and error fishing trips, and misguided advice from well-intended friends. Chuck is happy now with his newfound success after he visited Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, where we keep fishing fun, simple, and successful. See us soon at Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, located directly off Highway 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. 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 Reese's.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michaels Studio.
They got something that money couldn't buy.
I was noticing when you come down the stairs that you've got pretty legs.
All right, I'll tell you a story without a happy ending. Y'all following this?
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Let's all give Smitty a hand. Great job today with the music. Unbelievable.
It's been a busy day.
You're incredible. The man is back from the... He was up in Kentucky having a great time. I think, he's taking a little vacation. I thought he did that bourbon trail where all the breweries
Making
and
some
stuff.
white lightning up the hills.
Yeah. Him and Ernest T spent some time
I was
together.
wondering why you had to call Kentucky to get in here.
Yeah, unbelievable. I want to wish a happy birthday to one of the guys I grew up just thought he was unbelievable. Archie Griffin. Monday was his birthday. The only player to ever win back-to-back Heisman trophies. Played for the great Woody Hayes at Ohio State Buckeyes. But watching him play was incredible. To this day, I remember making those runs. They had that huge offensive line. The big Pete Johnson, I think his name of the fullback, was unbelievable. They were really something special. But he was the only guy that's ever won 2 in a row.
Archie Griffin's not very big. If you've ever seen him.
Number 45.
He's like 5'8", 190 pounds.
Tony Thompson.
He's not big, but man, he could run. He was the real deal.
Patrick, you mentioned something about some golf. What do you got for us on golf today?
Well, it's a tour championship at East Lake in Atlanta this week. It's been a 3-tournament process. They took the top 75 golfers. In the first tournament they did is they dropped it down to 50, and now they've dropped it down to 30. So there's 30 golfers going, and at this time, it's an order of merit kind of. And Scotty Scheffler, he's starting the tournament at 10 under. It's just the process that they use for this final tournament for the FedEx Cup and the Tour Championship.
Wait, he starts 10 under?
He starts 10 under on Thursday. How can you spot a pro golfer 10 strokes on his brethren? Victor Hovland is starting at 8 under. Rory McIlroy's at 7 under. John Rahm's at 6 under, and good old Lucas Glover got to 5 under on the way he's performed over the last month or so. If you follow golf,
so these scores are based on what they've done in
it's what they've done. It's what they've done throughout the year, where they ranked before they got into this 3-tournament process.
10 strokes,
they did Memphis with 75 of the pros, and then after that the top 50 went to Chicago, and now it's the top 30 in East Lake in Atlanta. And it goes all the way down the line to down to 4 under, all the way down. And I think the last 4 guys are the only ones that are even. You know, somebody gets down to 1 stroke. So this is
new, right?
It started about a year or 2 ago. But this is something, if you're a golf fan, that you want to watch, you want to keep your eye on. Is the fella who's 10 under going to win the tournament? Oh, I think he's got a better shot than anybody. But you know, last year the guy who was 10 under did not win the tournament. So we'll see how it ends up and who gets the $10 million prize.
You might can watch that down at Beef O'Brady's.
Oh,
if you'd like to.
You certainly can, and not just one day, Thursday through Sunday.
All right, I want to ask you about this. I'm not too pumped up about this. We have college football, but this coming up weekend, this just gives you, a little test run. But then the next week it all starts. But what we got going on week 0, Navy versus Notre Dame.
In Dublin, Ireland.
Yeah, I watched that one. I think
Yes,
kickoffs, I think, at 1:30 our time.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Then you got UTEP at Jacksonville State, Ohio at San Diego State, Hawaii. Now we'll watch this one, Hawaii at Vandy.
Sure.
Hawaii at Vandy. SEC team I will definitely watch.
The Rainbows.
UMass, man, they got a game before Auburn. Wow.
Who are they playing?
They've got at New Mexico State. I bet they lose.
Yeah.
We got to pick these games Friday, Jim. We got to pick them, all these games. And we won't count. This is going to be our warm-up this Friday. We're going to pick these games. We're not going to count them in our total because we don't care about some of them.
Are you just picking winners?
That's all we are. We're nothing but winners.
Okay.
Coach Bryant, you say that. I ain't nothing but a winner, boy. FIU at Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech. No, Louisiana. Louisiana Tech.
Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, they lose. LSU.
That's the Terry Bradshaw school, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I think FIU is going to have a hard time.
I would think so. I would think so.
But anyway, that's kind of your games this weekend, and then a week from Thursday, Florida, Utah. Cannot wait for that one. I think Florida's going to surprise people. I really do. Auburn. I think Auburn's going to be better than people think.
The line on that game's better than you think on the Florida Utah game.
What's the latest?
I think it's only 4.5 or something. So
yeah, and Vegas.
And they know. Those fellas know. Old Danny Sheridan. He's an Alabama boy.
You know what? We're working on something right now. We got a special person working on something special. We might have a surprise for you guys. And his first name is Danny. I won't tell you his last, but that's a pretty good guess. What you got? What are you looking forward to this? What's your big question mark for you for college football?
Well, being a Florida State fan, I'd look to see if we live up to the hype that we've finally, accumulated. But
are you going down?
No,
that's too hot for me.
I've got tickets, but I'm going to give them to a friend of mine in Melbourne. So I grew up in Melbourne, so if I win, I'd go down and see family and then go over to the game. But it's a lot to do after what I've been through recently.
Right,
so I'm taking it easy.
You feeling pretty good?
Feel great.
You look good.
I mean, I got to thank everybody over there. Dr. England, he's a wonderful man, Yeah. And they fixed me. I just got to fix what they did to me because they did a great thing for me. So
he was 275. Now he's down to about 210.
Lord.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And
you gotta share your secret with me. I'm only dropped 25, so I got to keep going.
I trained him. No.
It's what you eat.
Yeah, it is.
Self-discipline. I have a hard time. I love eating, man. I can't help it.
Cookies, pudding.
I like all that bad stuff.
Stay away from the end of the bar at Beef's when the sweets arrive. Someone brought in home-baked cookies yesterday.
Oh, my God. Man.
Oh, we had a fella come in the other talk about who walks in. Bud Abel. I don't know if you know. He came Bud Abel played in Super Bowl I, middle linebacker, Kansas City Chiefs, and he taught here.
He worked at Arnold.
Yeah. I didn't.
He doing good?
He's doing great.
Still looking good?
He looks awesome. He's amazing, And he comes in, he's sitting by himself, we talk, and then he eats, and then he comes back by, and fellas who he taught math, they said he was a great teacher as well.
He's a good guy.
He's a really good man, and I get so happy when I see people like him come in the restaurant. Gives you a little chills, because he was out there Super Bowl I. He got to see Lenny Dawson with the Fresca between his legs, smoking a cigarette at halftime.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's some good stuff, man.
I got to ask you a question. We were talking about this earlier. FSU. We were talking about two teams, with two-loss team getting in. And I said the only way.
Talking about Bama saying it'll be a good year.
Well, I'm just saying, if FSU loses to LSU week 1, real close, maybe an overtime, 1-point score, whatever, maybe a field goal.
Yep.
They lose to Clemson in a close game on the road, but they went out and they win the ACC championship, revenge the loss to Clemson, and other things happen in college football. With that schedule that they play, their schedule's pretty tough, and they got Florida State at the end of the year, which I think is going to surprise some people. I think Florida State might have a shot to get in as ACC. I don't think they can lose 2 games and not be an ACC champ. They have to win the ACC championship with 2 losses to get in.
If they lose 2 games and it's Clemson and LSU,
and if LSU's
if they come back at the end of the year and play Clemson again and win, I think they do have a shot.
Yeah.
Depending on the rankings at the time.
Especially if Clemson's undefeated.
If Clemson runs out after if they have a really good record and they're playing each other at the end of the season for the conference championship and FSU wins, I see that they would have a chance.
That'd be
they got
Are you
their
glad they're playing this game, even though it might cost them getting in the playoffs?
That game last year, winning,
that was awesome,
and it it propelled them through their resurgence. So I think that it's going to be a hard game to win because LSU's they have it in their memory banks about what happened last year.
You think it's going to be a high-scoring game or a low-scoring game?
It depends on how well the defenses play. I think it's going to be a mid-range kind of game. It's probably going to be 3 or if you score your 4th touchdown, you might win. Touchdown a quarter. So it'll be right around over under. So
a lot of great athletes, a lot of NFL players.
Yeah,
we got about a minute and a half. Let's give a little love to Beef O'Brady's. Tell us what's going on down there and our special on Wednesday.
Oh, well, today's Taco Tuesday. You can't beat it. If you ever had our tacos at Beef O'Brady's, they're amazing. You get 2 tacos and chips and a drink for $7.99. That ain't bad at all.
Wow.
So tomorrow's, of course, the Wing Wednesday, and we do a Wing Wednesday special. We've done.
You packed out for that, aren't you?
Oh, well, usually by a little after 11:15, the restaurant's full. So we're taking people in at 11:45 and we open at 11, but we try to offer this as it's kind of a loss leader deal for us, and now 10 wings a side and a drink for $9.99. That's not a bad deal at all.
Can't beat it.
And you just go into live trivia Wednesday night, which is so much fun. The guys from the American Outlaws, the fan club for National Soccer, they do our trivia every week at Beef O'Brady's, and they do a great. They do Family Feud for the first round. They do guess the music for the second round, song and title. And then they do general trivia for the third round. And you'd be surprised how many people come in for that. It's crazy.
Hey, thank you. Good morning. Hey, that was real sweet. That was really nice.
So
anyway. He just gave me a victory sign, as far as you know. Get out to Beef O'Brady's, have a good time. The atmosphere's out there is just outstanding. College football is getting ready to crank up. Monday Night Football, can't beat it. Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven. Pat, thank you so much for coming in. We got you next Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
You need to get in here for the Auburn now. Get in here earlier. Get that phone fixed up. Jim Bob, we got you Friday.
Yeah.
All right, leave it right here. Ryan Mobley, 11-1. And then the underdogs, the legendary Big Dave from 4 to 6. We're out. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The tradition continues.
That ball is going to be out of here.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
Bombs away.
The Atlanta Braves are back and making a statement.
Head first slide, 2 RBI triple.
Listen to Atlanta Braves baseball in a rich audio experience live on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Here comes the thunder.
Sponsored by Best Way Portable Buildings, Dave & Buster's, PCB Hobby.